It's important to communicate in a way that people can understand. Okay, who is the idiot who just ordered 2 truckloads of insulators? None of you have got a job that big. When my boss asked that question, I, like everyone else, ran across to the window to look outside, and sure enough, there were 2 trucks full of electrical insulators. And I asked myself the same question: who was the idiot? Well, before I tell you who the idiot was, let me just explain. It was my first year out of university. I was working as a construction engineer for the railways, looking after their overhead wires. As the engineer, it was up to me to order all the equipment that was required for a job. And all the equipment in the railways had a number. Insulators had the number 364/8. I had needed 20, so I sent a note to the storeman asking him for 20 times 364/8s. And this is when I learned the importance of good communication. You see, storemen, well, they're not the sharpest tool in the shed. In fact, I'd explain them as being, well, a sandwich short of a picnic, if you get my drift. And what I didn't understand was that when the other engineers wanted 20 insulators, rather than writing times 364/8, they wrote down 20 of 364/8. For reasons I will never fully comprehend, the storeman, flummoxed by my radical notation, decided to multiply the numbers out. 20 times 364/8s. Let me get my calculator. You picked it. The idiot was me. And though when the boss reviewed all the documentation, he decided it was really a communication problem rather than a problem with me, I still had the humiliation of every morning driving by this great pile of insulators, which they nicknamed Sears's Summit. I learned that day that communication is really important. It's not enough to write or even to say the right thing. You have to say it in a way that the other person understands. So, for example, if you're in a different country where people spoke a different language and you wanted directions, it would be no use asking them in English. You'd have to ask them in the language that they understand, in their language. I'm now 67 years old, and sometimes I think that people today speak a completely different language to me. I think the biggest catalyst to this has been social media. And that is one of the reasons why you see an old wrinkly like me trying to learn how to communicate on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and X. Because just as it was important for me to communicate how many insulators we needed so we could get the job done on time and on budget, so now it's even more important for me to be able to communicate to you that Jesus is the answer, that Jesus has what you need, how to really enjoy life, how it was intended to really flourish. So many people are flummoxed, trying to work out what life is all about. They do things which seem to be right, but often end in disaster. Yet there are people like me who are keen to share with you the answer that we found. Do you want to know more? Then look at this link that's listed here. It will tell you how to follow the Lord Jesus, the person who said that he came that you might have life and may have it abundantly. And if you like this story, then like and subscribe, or tell me how I can communicate better to you. God bless.